Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Jen McEwen. Hi, Micas. Hi, Micas. Welcome back. Hello, Jose Luis. This is our 31st. Did I just say 31st call or live stream? I am your host, Jen McEwen. Hashtag this week is Deeponomics. Sounds a little kinky. I'm going to bring on stage my co-founders, and you know their faces very well, Jesse Adams and Christopher O'Connell. What's up, guys?
Hey, everybody.
Good
morning. Good morning.
Looking sharp.
This is my 1th greeting of the morning, Jen. My 1th greeting of the morning.
Greeting. How was your guys' week?
Pretty great.
Pretty busy, but good. We got a lot cooking right now.
Yeah, we got a lot to share. Well, we did have Thanksgiving.
From Georgia here. Pretty cool.
We had Thanksgiving on Thursday, which we saw you guys on Thursday, but then afterwards we all ate like kings and queens. Yeah, a lot of stuff happened this week. Chris, you are looking sharp. You got a comment here. There you go.
I don't know what to say other than, if everybody's willing to come give me their time, I might as well give them my best.
I'm wearing a stained shirt from a local brewery, so I could do better, but
that's character. Probably smells great.
That character, yeah.
GM from GM Land, nice. So that's definitely a country. Hey Jen, look at that.
Oh, hi, is Sigma. So before we get into it, there's a couple of things that happened over the week. Apparently there are car-sized drones flying over New Jersey. Have you guys heard about this?
I did.
I saw some article about that. And whenever my wife asks me what's going on with the 3D printer in the garage, I say, don't worry about it. They're going to New Jersey anyway. Sorry, what?
Yeah, I don't know if you folks probably don't know this, but Christopher is also a licensed pilot, so I wouldn't put it past him. He's also pretty mischievous.
Drew,
what do you think it is?
I think somebody's flying drones around.
Car-sized drones?
Are they really as big as a car? Has anybody ridden in one?
Ridden in a car?
I have ridden in a car, yes. Despite Drew saying, so Drew, I see your comment about how I look like I'm hanging with the Amish. The only Amish I want to look like I'm hanging with is Weird Al's crew from Amish Paradise.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Guys,
okay, there we go.
We're playing Amish today.
Whatever we hang out,
cigar also looks extra. Cigar looks extra like tasty right now.
Extra Amish.
Yeah, extra Amish. Yeah.
All right, let's get into it, guys.
Okay.
We've got quite a bit today. So we've got some updates on UpRock and UPT. We've got our some big news or some fun news to share on Tokenomics, or what we like to call lovingly internally Tufonomics.
Yep.
Our teammate and our Tufon extraordinaire. We have some UPT staking insights, revamped referral program. This is still in the works, but we'll share some progress with you on that. And then we have an update from dePioneers. We actually have some really great guests with us today. We'll bring them on later on with a GeoNet.
Yeah, so about that.
Cool. To have them there. All right, let's go.
Week was great, sir.
Hi, Andrew.
Yep.
Okay, so latest. Where is UpRock? What is UpRock? Where to buy UPT? Contribute to. Oh, this looks like it's just just basically the latest updates. There's quite a lot that happened in the last week. So if you want to see a bunch of these updates, just go to our blog. I'm sorry, I'm such a millennial. I just said blog. Go to our Twitter account, and we have a lot of updates on all of these topics.
Yeah, it's kind of our it was our most recent pinned post. But a lot's been going on, especially since November. So it's a nice recap of all the latest promotions. We're doing a big thing with obviously IoTex and the big the program with them, where they're giving away $2 million worth of DePIN tokens, and UpRock is a premier partner with them. We have DePIN Catalyst, which is our 100K developer grant program. We are getting contributions. Actually, we are getting applications in, and we're reviewing them. So that's awesome to see. And then there's just a list of posts that are great to say, here's where you can buy, here's where you can get a great deal, and here's where you can stake, and here's how you can earn more by contributing. So it's a nice thread to just get catch up with all things UpRock.
Yep. Right. Yeah. So go check that out. It's one of our pin. It's our pin post. It's a long read, but it's well worth the time.
I guess he's wearing glasses. I wear mine too.
Who's wearing glasses?
Rocket. Yeah.
Oh, Rocket. There you go.
Rocket's always wearing glasses. Rocket's cool.
Also, the next slide to find the type is so tiny, so we'll need these right now.
Yeah, you'll need these. Okay, I can just make this a little bit bigger. So we have an update to our Tokenomics or our dePioneers, or as most people know, our Tokenomics. So first of all, this is a simplified version of the flow. It's a bit cleaner now the way that we're displaying it. And for the time being, we're limited time. We are updating the platform fee burn rate from 50% to 100%. And then we replace the revenue stream with a Prism stream, which is we've talked about that in past streams before, and increase the buyback from 60 to 80%. So this is for the time being. Chris, you want to go into that a bit more?
Yep, absolutely. So we said in the past that we would split the platform fee, half between us, half between going back to the burn mechanism. But what we decided is going forward, for a while, at least, for quite some while. We might revisit this in the future. We might go back to the 50-50 in the future. But for now, for the foreseeable future, we're just going to burn 100% of the platform fee. We definitely didn't do this because it's easier to code it up that way. But what this means is that our burn is actually going to be higher than we had originally anticipated. Also, we're changing the word. I like this. Instead of saying B2B or whatever, we're calling it Prism revenue, which is great because we're rebranding our whole sort of data platform as Prism, which I think is awesome. Good work on that, guys. I think it's a lot easier to be like, oh, UpRock Prism, as opposed to like UpRock Management Portal V2 login.
Yeah.
So UpRock Prism's our Prism revenue, and we're gonna be burning again. We had said that would be 40-40, and so that we're still doing that. But we're gonna do buyback with all of the non-UPT tokens first, and then we'll split it between burn and the miners. So the miners are still getting the same 40%, and the burn is still getting the same 40%. We just sort of simplified this a little bit to explain that 80% of everything that comes in goes to that process, which is then split between the 40 and 40. So I think this is a little easier to understand right now because there's less lines going all over the place. But it's this that part of it still puts the same amount for the miners and the same amount for the burn. Yeah. And I don't know if are we announcing today that so last month, November, we finally we got the books closed. Are we announcing what our revenue is going for the miners?
We can. I mean, we're going to start posting it anyway. So
until the Prism page is totally up.
I'm not familiar with this yet, but if you go to uprock.com/tokenomics, you'll see the charts up there updated. But we also have uprock.com/network, and there we actually show real-time stats of our burns. How much we're going to start sharing revenue rates, our network stats, not just showing you a live node map because a lot of DePIN has that. We want to actually show you what those nodes translate to as far as available bandwidth, available compute, how that translates to revenue, and how that revenue translates to how much we're buyback and burn, how much we're adding to liquidity pools. So just being really transparent, building in the open with the community. So go ahead and talk about it, Chris. We all, our community, brought in $7,500 last month. Almost all of that's money that's not coming from other Web3 projects. That's coming from Web2 sources. So in just a couple days, I don't know the exact date. We got to wait for everybody in accounting to give us the thumbs up that we're like good to go on this and we're clear. We're going to start that buyback process. So you're going to start seeing the buyback and burn kicking in very soon. I was hoping we could say on this call that we'd actually like we pushed the button on the call, but still got to wait for all the books to get closed and stuff like that. Unfortunately, as much as we like how easy Web3 makes everything, we still have to live in the Web3 world where we have to get all that stuff, or Web2 world, whatever, the old-fashioned accounting world where we have to get all that stuff done. So as soon as that's done, we're going to have the buyback kicking in. Yep, and like kind of big picture is like for every startup, first kind of good goal is like, can you get to 10K a month revenue? And we're going to get there this month. Our goal is to get to next goal will be 50 and 100K. So we're having over $1 million run rate. And again, we tie that back to the token to the UPT central to the whole ecosystem. So all the revenue we get, whether it's the consumer side or the B2B side, which we call UpRock Prism. So those who are not familiar with that, that's our B2B portal where people can buy our data products like our uptime service, our data scraping, and custom compute jobs on mobile devices. And so those are the three kind of products that are driving a lot of the revenue, and also the consumer reward side, the loyalty programs actually generate pretty good revenue too. So 10K is the first goal. We're going to beat that now. We're going to get to 50K soon, and then 100K. That's going to provide significant buyback of UPT, and we're going to share that exactly how that impacts everyone involved, and how that impacts our liquidity pools and our tokens and the buyback and burn program. So this is powerful. Couldn't have done it with you guys, so we really appreciate it, and we want to just share as much as we can as we succeed. So
yeah, and we have a note here, and we're about to do it, but yeah, we have a shout out in particular to Mike. Mike, yeah, thank you for pumping that UPT back. But thank you for your contributions for this, folks. Like we have people who are contributing to help us on our journey of building and developing UpRock. And folks like Mike, like Klaus, we see and I see in the chat right now, like they provide such valuable feedback. So if you have any suggestions, or if you want to provide your feedback, or you have some feature requests, and in fact, we're going to go into another feature request that the contributors helped us with a few slides. Join us on Discord and join the Contribute to Earn program, and then you can hang out with the likes of Mike and Klaus and work with us on what would you like to see UpRock do, and what is your feedback on how we can make things better.
Yep. The other thing we wanted to mention, so as I think those of you who follow our tokenomics closely know, we've posted up quite a bit of liquidity, especially on the decentralized exchanges, because we really believe in that. And we've just been kind of looking at where the markets are. And so since the beginning of this month, we've added several additional liquidity pools and put up over 100 grand of additional liquidity for the UpRock token. Because we hear people wanting to trade and stuff like that, and there's not necessarily some days it wasn't enough. That's so we took a look at that, and we went ahead and we doubled up on that. Well, not quite doubled, but we put a lot more behind it. Hopefully that makes sure that no matter what you're looking to trade UPT for, there's plenty of good routes available on the DEXs. We also expanded. We previously hadn't had a Radium pool. I don't really know why. I like Radium, but we just hadn't really gotten that set up. So we have just a small Radium pool set up right now, just to make sure it's working with all of our other systems. And we'll be dumping some more into the Radium pool soon this month.
And that's what the revenue is for too, right? We not only does it buy back and burn UPT, but it also helps.
It also bolsters the liquidity pools. Yeah. Now in this case this month. Yeah, in this case, this month, we actually bolstered the liquidity pools even more than that because we just, looking at the routes that people were taking, there weren't enough routes necessarily. And so, there were still a lot more routes than many coins, but we wanted to make sure there were lots of routes. So we added a few more routes. We added quite a bit of liquidity, and obviously more will be coming, especially additionally to Radium. We added liquidity to the UPT Sol routes as well, so that those of you guys who are participating in that part of the ecosystem, there's more liquidity there as well.
Yeah, cool. Great. Yeah. So again, check out uprock.com/tokenomics, and you can see the chart. You can see the burn, the total supply, the mining emission schedule, things like that. And this page is getting built further. So keep checking back on that. That is a live page. It's a living page. So.
So that's a great question there about what goes to the treasury. So the answer is what goes to the treasury is is a mix of the tokens. If we had a month where there was that answer was probably not specific enough. So normally, of course, we reward the miners with UPT. So if some of our revenue comes in the form of UPT, we wouldn't pay fees to convert something else to UPT in that regard. On the other hand, suppose we had a month where 90% of all our revenue was UPT. Then of the part that went to the treasury, part of that would be UPT. But yeah, in a normal month where we have kind of a mix of different tokens coming in, of course, the treasury has to pay bills like servers and stuff in dollars. So probably we would tend to take things like USDC and send those to the treasury because that 20% is how we pay our bills. We'd use some of the UPT-based revenue to reward the miners because that's what they get rewarded in. And then we'd use other tokens. We'll swap as necessary. Well, I mean, obviously, we use it to buy back UPT, but we'll swap as necessary to make that process happen.
Yep.
Great. All right. So yeah, again, thank you for all the contributors. Mike, I just actually wanted to call out this. This just popped in my head. This is a bit of a tangent, but how's the puppy doing, folks? I don't know if you saw on our X, but we shared a post from Mike. You got a little puppy. Would you end up naming the little guy? So let us know in the comments or on X. I want to see what you got.
And Saso, just to finally finish, because I just reread your comment again and saw the last part, because I do want to give a complete answer to that. So the answer is the part that is for buyback of UPT will, of course, always be swapped to UPT. That's how buyback and burn works. The part that's not allocated to that, we will evaluate month to month what tokens we have, what tokens we think we should have, and just adjust. So, for the moment, we're not going to do any like major reallocation. Pretty much what's coming in is how it's going to stay for the moment. But down the road, suppose we had a month where one of the pools is really unbalanced or something like that, we would do some swaps before we put it in to make sure everything.
I mean, here's a good example. Like if you were to just continually only bolster the USDC and UPT pools, that's good. If Solana is really volatile and it goes down really hard, then UPT won't go down as hard because it's not tied to that SOL as much as those pools. However, if you don't have as much as UPT and SOL pools and SOL goes really high, then we're not also rising with SOL with the SOL ecosystem as well. So you do need to balance it and have both, so that if Solana, things go up and down in crypto space. So if it goes really hard, then we still have a really good pool in the USDC, and if it goes up, we're still see some upside too with the whole ecosystem going up. So we have to think about that, and it's and part of the revenue is saying, okay, what kind of tokens are we getting in, and which pools should we strengthen right now? So, yeah.
Okay, great. Actually, that just leads us right on to this next slide about UPT staking. So we've had some really cool insights on this on UPT staking. We've had this up for a couple months now.
Yep.
And let's see what we got. The insights is 53% of users have chosen. So we do tiers, right? So it's a 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, and 12 month. And then depending on your duration of your stake, your APY changes, with 12 months obviously naturally being the highest return. And lots of folks have seen the value in that. So we've got about over half of the people who are staking have chosen the 12-month tier, and the 12-month tier, and that's staking over 62% of the total stake tokens.
Yeah,
which
that's awesome.
Yeah, long term, and it's really validating here too, or to see this too, because it's like folks who are really into the long term vision of what we're building. Because 12 months is a long time to stake tokens, but it's here.
I mean, especially in the space right now where meme coins are taking over, is the narrative, and they're fun and all that. But we are building a real business, a real long term business that generates real revenue. And so it is cool to see that that communication is getting through, and people are staking for the long term, because that really is powerful. That helps everyone, and it's great. So we appreciate the community for doing that.
Yeah, thank you. So if anyone listening wants to stake and you haven't done so yet, head over to your account on X, or I keep saying X, head over to your account on UpRock.com and log in, and you'll see the staking section there, and you can go and do that. Like I said, we have 4 tiers. The minimum required to stake is 1,000 UPT for most of them, but we did recently, just a couple of weeks ago, introduce 2 new staking tiers for 12 months and 6 months, and you could do 100 to 1,000 UPT for that, and that's available for you, the more flexible, or if you just want to give it a try before you make your final move and do the 12 month.
Yeah. All
right.
Cool.
Okay, so this is a fun one. I have been very excited to work on this with the team. So I mentioned earlier, we have the Contribute to Earn program, and that's where folks who are, our alpha pack, or folks who are like our project and want to help us by sharing their feedback or feature suggestions, or just help us on our development journey. So part of this was one of these focus areas was revamping our referral program. And so this is a sneak peek of what we're thinking to do. And a lot of this is input from these contributors. Again, if you want to join and be a contributor, head over to our Discord, and you can find the link on our X account, uprock.com or x.com/uprock.com, and you'll see the Discord link, and then you can join and the Contribute to Earn program. But this is a sneak peek of what we've got. It's still a work in progress. I am in particular curious. So here's what I was thinking we do with the naming. The structure itself wasn't only me. It was definitely lots of work from the contributors and internally, but we have this idea of ranks, right? And so depending on how many active referrals you have, you get a multiplier on your earnings. And so we started off with okay, we have this tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, but I was what if we do ranks? And so I'm thinking, what if we start with cadet, scout, ranger, and chief? And the reason why I like this is because they all kind of sound like dog names, but they also, so they can, they're buddies with Rocket, but they're also, science, space fiction, aerospace kind of ranks, So anyway, I'm curious what you guys think about that. Roz will surely be sharing this with everyone on Discord, and so please share your feedback. Hit us up on X, or if you have feedback right now, you can do that here. So that's our sneak peek of the referral program.
So I thought we were going to call the first level baby Chads, and then the second level Chads, and the third level super Chads, and the fourth level Giga Chads.
Alpha Giga Chad.
Alpha Giga Chad. Maybe that's a new secret fifth level.
That's a bit of a mouthful.
Yeah.
Is that gonna fit in the space available?
Yeah.
Super Alpha Giga Chad.
Alpha Giga Chad.
I would love to know how Alpha Giga Chad translates in all the different languages. There's got to be a term for it in each one, or is it they just use the English version? I don't know.
It's got to. Yeah, I mean, I really.
If you speak a language other than English, let us know in the comments on this stream how Alpha Giga Chad translates into your language.
Yeah, that'd be awesome to know. No, this is good, Jen. I mean, the referral program is amazing. It's a great way to bootstrap a network, especially and what's all about the community, and DePIN is all about the community. So being able to reward that, and some folks really perform well on this, and they really share and they create great content. And they get a lot of friends and family and their own community to join UpRock. So we just want to recognize that. So we want to make it fun too. And this is what this is about, just like increasing the program, making it more exciting for people who really are performing great. So because you are really Alpha Giga Chads for us. So yep.
You are Alpha Giga Chads. So thinking about how I was just saying, these all sound like dog names, and they could be friends with Rocket. Chris, you asked this question. Chris just pinged me randomly sometime last week. He's like, what would be the proper noun for a group of golden retrievers? A giggle of goldens? A goof of goldens, or something else? Obviously, Chris, you had been hitting the
Thanksgiving sauce a little hard. Actually, no. I think I was stone cold sober when I wrote you that. I was just thinking there are some very funny plural group nouns for different animals, I was just thinking, what are going? I know normally we have a pack of dogs, right? But I feel like Goldens, it's like a giggle of Goldens or a goof of Goldens.
Yeah, you do smile. That's part of it.
I was thinking a murder of floofs.
A murder, Jesus! How?
I like that.
Oh my! How violent!
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We got to bring up GeoNet soon, so let's move on now. So we have a new partnership with iLoop Finance, and we're kicking this off with. Sorry, you know what? I have the wrong screenshot on this. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Anyway, ignore the phone on the side, on the right, and listen to Jesse's soothing words about.
I don't know about that. Yeah, so talking about just upgrading our pools and expanding them. So we have a great partnership with iLoop.ifinance. Check them out. Right now we have like double the bonus rewards for people who add to the pool. So if you go to if you just go to that URL, I think we're right on the homepage. So they're really great with what they do. They're great for the project, but also for the community to just have more liquidity pools out there. So and this is specifically for UPT Sol, which is exciting. So if you have Sol in your wallet, and it's doing nothing, and you want to make it liquid, so you want to earn something on it, you want to stake it, but you also want to be able to sell it anytime you want. UPT Sol is a great solution for you. So don't just let that Sol sit in your wallet doing nothing. Convert it to UPT Sol. It's like Sol, but you get rewards for it. And so add that UPT Sol to the lending pool, and then you get additional rewards. We've actually added a good chunk of UPT to that pool, so people who are early into that thing is going to actually earn the most. So check it out now. Add it to it now, and you'll get the most rewards out of that. Yeah.
Great. All right. And then last up before we bring up Mike and David from GeoNet is an update on iOS. Okay. I know I've said for a couple of streams, it's in review, and I'm telling you, it's still in review. We have, this is ready to go. It's just, we're stuck in review limbo right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to say too much trash or express too much frustration about the process because, I don't want to upset any of the review gods, but we're just waiting
so I'm going to tell you right now, this is the arbitrariness of App Store reviewers. The reason they gave us is this. The primary purpose of the app is to encourage users to perform digital tasks in exchange for compensation. Like whatever digital tasks for exchange for compensations, which is not appropriate. Now that's crazy because there are reward programs like Google Rewards, there's Google Surveys, an actual app. There's companies called Super.com. They're all reward programs. American Express has a reward program. You're performing digital tasks, you're buying goods, and you get some cash back. So this one's a really confusing one for us. They're okay with passive tasks as far as as long as you just download the app and you can earn in the background, just like most DePIN projects do. Make it really super simple. But a lot of our community wanted to earn more by doing active tasks, whether it's polls, surveys, referral program. We also introduced a play to earn the games. The games actually generate a lot of revenue. Also gives you a fun reason for you to check the app and open it again. And every time you open it, we can send you a passive data task so you can earn more. So there's multiple reasons why we added it. But for some reason, they think the games is the primary purpose of the app, which is not.
Well, and it honestly doesn't even matter because the terms, they said, well, your app violates this term. And we went and looked at the term and it says you can't make users turn on their location service in exchange for a reward. And we said, we don't even have location service. It's not even enabled in the bundle. Like we don't ask for location permission. The app doesn't have that entitlement. And then anyway.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have to probably design the home screen. We're going to have to get creative a little bit and just make sure it's very clear to this arbitrary reviewer that this is a DePIN project. It's a wallet. That's the core purpose. We're doing data services in the background. The games are an optional fun thing to do. I think we just need to be a little creative. So we're thinking about that, and then we're going to resubmit it tonight or tomorrow, and hopefully finally get approved next week or this weekend. Because they've been responsive, but it's just confusing because there's so many similar apps that are already approved. So it's just an app store thing. So we'll keep you posted, and as soon as it's live, we'll let you know. So yeah.
Yeah, we want it out there for you guys too. I mean, I'm playing with it on testnet, and it's very fun. But I don't want to be the only one. I want more people playing on their iPhones. If anyone knows somebody who's a reviewer at X and could put in a good word for your good friends at UpRock, please do. I've heard that that once you get one reviewer for your submission, that's the one you've got. So you got to convince that one person, and then subsequent updates will go to a new reviewer. So we are.
Yeah, I said that we should change it, and we should change the banner to say "Don't earn." And then when you click on it, it just explains that Apple says you're not allowed to earn, but if you go get a good phone like an Android, then you can earn. But apparently everybody thinks they're not going to like that in the review process. But I don't know what they could possibly object to in that. That's just telling the truth. No? Okay. All right. Fine. I guess we're redesigning the app.
I don't know.
You guys are like, oh, hell no.
No,
Yeah.
no, let's not do that. Okay, well, okay, guys, that's it that we have for UpRock updates. I'm going to bring on stage. We've got great guests. So we've got GeoNet. This is a dePioneers update. I'm sorry, we're moving on from UpRock. Now we have dePioneers updates. dePioneers is a separate project, but it is it's a DAO that we launched a couple. Well, I guess has it been a year now? I can't remember how long it's been.
Just half a year, but yeah,
About
it's a
6
premier
months.
DePIN DAO, and it's been a great way to collaborate with other quality DePIN projects and also build a community around. There's a lot of people out there that love the DePIN and what it means for Web3, and so it's really a great vehicle for us to not only collaborate with great companies, but also build a really strong community that loves DePIN and they want to learn about more projects and how to earn and all that good stuff. So yeah, so DePioneers, that's what it's about, and excited to welcome our guests today.
Yeah. So I'm going to welcome onto stage Mike Horton and David Chen with GeoNet. So GeoNet is, hi guys. GeoNet is a Web3 GPS using RTK tech, so for more accurate than GPS. And on top of that, great news, it's decentralized. So welcome, Mike, and welcome, David.
Nice to see you.
Nice to have you.
Yeah.
And you are now part of the posse. So GeoNet has purchased 2 NFTs, dePioneers NFTs. So they are part of the posse now. And it's good to have you in the community. Why don't you guys tell us a bit more about GeoNet and and what's the project and what are you solving and
and introduce yourself first. I'd say maybe whoever wants to go first, but that'd be great too. Maybe if you want to start with
super. Yeah. So my name is Mike Horton, and I'm the project creator of the GeoNet network. My whole career has been spent in the field of autonomy and positioning services, GPS, LiDAR, camera, sensor fusion, all the technologies that you see and use in robots to get them around and have them navigate. One of the classical problems of GPS is it's really not accurate enough for most robotic and drone applications because it'll have anywhere from 1 to 3 meters of air in kind of good conditions, but in other places you'll find 10, 15, even 100 meters of air. So GeoNet has set out to solve that. Traditionally, high accuracy GPS has been super expensive and limited to applications like the guys on the side of the road you see with survey sticks, guys in construction and farming have been using high accuracy GPS for many years, but it's been very, very expensive. And through the power of a DePIN network, we've been able to build now the world's largest high accuracy GPS network and are using that to power all kinds of drones and robots and consumer products that are coming to market. And that's what we do.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah, my name is David Chen. I'm also co-founder of GeoNet project. Myself is a software background. So I'm in Silicon Valley for about 20 years. So I get into blockchain space back in 2013, starting as a Bitcoin miner, and then become very interested into the blockchain technology. So I become a full-time blockchain developer starting 2015. And also being personally involved in a couple of other blockchain projects back in 2017 and 2019. And starting 2021, I met Mike and other founder Yudan, so we work on this idea, try to use blockchain to revolutionize the high precision GPS location service. And start from 2021 being full speed on this.
Great. Well, thank you guys for coming. Mike, you just mentioned drones, and so I just got a flashback to 30 minutes ago about New Jersey car-sized drones. What do you guys think?
I think, car-sized drones are definitely coming. They also go by the name of eVTOLs, electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles. There's Joby Aviation. There's several, Xiaopeng, which is a Chinese car company, has announced one. So if you look around the internet, you'll see a lot of things that look like oversized drones that are actually going to be aircraft. And these are going to be used for delivery capabilities, but also I think a big thing that a lot of people are very excited about is like short hop trips, like air taxi from, say, your office building to the airport. And there's actually, I think, I don't know, tens of billions of dollars of capital floating around in venture capital funding the development of these eVTOL aircraft. And you can really think of those things as fundamentally engineered as super oversized drones.
Yeah.
I see.
But occasionally you see somebody just take, in agriculture, like DJI has a quite large drone. I don't know, maybe 8 feet wingspan quadcopter that can spray. And those things they're strong enough to hold you up. So you'll occasionally see the crazy nut job on YouTube who'll be holding onto the bottom of the drone and having his friend, hoist him into the air. So you can go DIY with sort of drones that carry people as well. You don't have to get you don't have to wait for one of these really fancy eVTOLs to come out. You can just take one of these heavy lift drones and hop on for a quick ride. But safety on that might not be the best.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
one of these days, and then we'll have GeoNet to guide us along our way, right?
Yep.
It sounds like it sounds like a great timing for as we enter into the drone era.
We are there.
Yeah, for a company like GeoNet.
Yeah. So you guys have the what I love about your company is it's a great example of DePIN, where if you've done this in the Web 2 space, it would be so expensive to scale out and to build it. And when you build it with the community, you can just get so much more high resolution data, because you can incentivize people in locations that are where you're missing data and say, hey, we'll pay, we'll give you more token, incentivize more to have locations in this area, which is cool. So you guys have a satellite hardware. In our space, we have commodity devices. We use the phone, but other DePIN projects have specialized hardware. You guys have that. And so that's the first thing you launched. Was that correct? Anyone with a rooftop who want to earn your tokens, they can buy the satellite, install it on the roof, start sharing that. And then you have a new thing called GeoPulse. Can you talk about that a little bit too, and the difference between the two?
Yeah, sure. So the core device that is the backbone of our network is the satellite mining devices, which is a small antenna that mounts on the rooftop. And if you can look at our console map and find empty hexes and put them in there, they earn well. These devices track satellites from the US, Russia, China, and Europe, and are what are called fully modernized. So they're tracking really every positioning signal coming down from the sky today. And that's a very unique thing. There's no other network on the planet that has full coverage of every satellite signal. There's no other network on the planet that has as many base stations as we do. We estimate that if you deployed the infrastructure in a traditional non-DePIN way, you'd be over $1 billion in CapEx at this point. So within 2 years, we've deployed a network that the entire GPS industry has been trying to figure out how to do for over 20 years. This is an incredible accomplishment and has enormous utility to a whole bunch of applications, both traditional and emerging. Leveraging this network, we came out with a device to try to help people understand who maybe aren't in robotics, how can this benefit me and how can this help me? So we came out with a device to help with car navigation. I'm sure you've all experienced a time when you're navigating with the car and it thinks you're on the frontage road, but you're actually on the freeway or vice versa. And as a result, you get wrong directions. So the GeoPulse is just a basic car navigation device that works with Android or iOS, replaces the phone's GPS, or if you have like CarPlay actually uses the car's GPS, so it'll replace the car's GPS as well with something that's about 10 to 100 times more accurate, depending on the condition. And so that opens up, for people who drive for a living, just better driving directions, which is, for day-to-day users, maybe not as critical, but for somebody who is actually counting, a DoorDash driver or something like this, who's counting on getting to the place as quickly as possible to get to the next job, the $129 cost of the GeoPulse will pay back in that sense. But it's also, this hyper-precise location is really cool because we can pinpoint things down to the centimeter, literally to the centimeter. So, and that's a very verifiable fix that the network itself can verify. So I think it opens up a lot of interesting sort of augmented reality and drive to earn type of experiences that can really depend upon precise location to, say, find a Pokemon or find a dePioneer. So that's one of the things that we're looking to do, is introduce a set of quests around this device that can encourage Web3 adoption of it. It will help us build out a better network, improve our validation and verification of the accuracy of the network, and at the same time provide an exciting experience for those in the Web3 community.
Cool. That's awesome.
That's great. So where can you said this is available on Android and iOS? Where can folks get involved?
Yeah, so there is a dedicated website for this device. I'll stick that in the comments right now.
Okay.
Just join the chat.
Great.
Oops. Maybe I'll stick it in the private chat, and you guys can relay it into the main chat. I'm not logged into YouTube at the moment, so yeah, that's how you can get involved. And I think part of the exciting thing that we're going to do with dePioneers is as these devices get out there into the field, there might be a few hidden kitties around, to pick up with by getting going to the right place.
I love that.
A friend of mine in Seattle, that's all around the world. I don't know if people are familiar with this. There's like a geocaching. It's a great hobby around the world. People love it. It's really fun.
Oh, yeah.
And the Pokemon game, the Pokemon game, when people go out and actually, it was a great evolution of that, where instead of staying home and just being in front of your screen, encourage you to go outside.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty cool. I love that. So yeah, and of course, if you guys have the tech to do that, enable it, that'd be awesome. So for next year, what's your biggest challenge and like your big goal for 2025? Since we're about to,
I think that for us, our network is growing extremely well, and the user growth is tremendous. So the number of people actually using GeoNet and paying for data is kind of off the hook. So I think our biggest challenge is actually finding our way into a stronger kind of Web3 crypto native community. We are pretty Web2. The Web 2 side of our project is extremely strong. The satellite mining is very important and it has grown very quickly, but there's only one opportunity per 20. Well, you can have multiple miners in a hex, but really, we're starting to fill up a lot of hexes. We have good coverage in many areas, and so we're looking for other ways to leverage our network in the Web3 community, get more people involved in GeoNet on the Web3 side, because it is very useful for proof of location. Obviously, there's a lot of other drive to earn programs. So, for example, there's another Web3 DePIN called Rover, which is building HD maps, very high definition, super precise maps, and they've integrated and used GeoNet. Another Web3 project we're integrated with, it's a DePIN, is Wingbits, which is doing an ADS-B tracking network. So we came up with a device that would allow you to dual mine flight tracking and satellites at the same time. We're working with Animoca to integrate some of these ideas around Pokemon game into actual Web3 gaming experiences. So those are I think our biggest challenges right now, is to raise our visibility within the Web3 world and to increase and just kind of get out there more as a Web3 platform.
Well, and one of the things you guys did, I think, which is great, is now you're across multi-chain. We started on Polygon, but now you moved over to Solana. And obviously, I think most of our communities, I don't know, I think it's a multi-chain world, but Solana, it's inevitable. It's everywhere, and so I think it's great that you guys did that. Also makes it easy for our community that we're Solana based to participate, with their tokens. So yeah, I guess with that, how was that move? And it's just starting to happen, right? And you are you going? And just let us know. Like,
I think the move. Maybe David can comment about the technology that we developed to enable the cross chain. But I think it's gone super smoothly.
Sure. Yeah, I give a little bit background. So we try to we started with Polygon network, and which being very helpful to us. And also, we think Solana is getting more community size, a lot of consideration. So we also bridge our tokens from Polygon to Solana. And we build a website which is based upon wormhole. So it's very easy. It's bi-directional. So you can just deposit your tokens in Polygon, and you will get the same amount of token in Solana within minutes, like 1 or 2 minutes.
Yeah. What's the URL for that again?
Sure. It's sol.geonet.com. So I'll put in the chat so you can.
Okay.
sol.geonet.com.
Yeah, the wormhole team. They're great, and the UI for bridging between chains is getting better and better. And this latest version of it, the swapping between chains without having to it's way more slick than it used to be just a few months ago.
Yeah, I think we've gotten a lot of positive feedback on our bridging website. I think it's as simple and crystal clear as you can do.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to respond back to Mike. You know, could UpRock help with monitoring and testing your network? And yeah, I think that's something that we should talk about maybe after the holidays. But certainly the Android app, iOS, in addition to having crazy ass review policies and some of the things you brought up on your review, we need to make sure, David, we sort those out for our iOS app as we come out with as we push the app from test flight to production for GeoPulse. They have an objection to everything, but what they do on the GPS side is they kind of perimeter fence all the raw GPS data. So GPS data, you can think of your latitude and longitude, but there's also actual raw satellite data called code, carrier, and Doppler. And these are three measurements that of satellite signals. On Android, that data is openly available through their API, which means we can do high precision positioning without any approvals from anybody in a kind of permissionless way. And so the UpRock Android app could be something that could, in fact, monitor and test our network, and something we'd be happy to talk about.
Oh, cool.
Great, Mike, making deals happen live on the stream.
Yes.
Love you for that, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, David, you just shared this as well. This is the Dune dashboard tracking the GeoNet data from blockchain.
Yeah.
And then your CMC page, I will pop these in the comments, so you folks can go check that out. That's dune.com/geonet_console/geo-console. And then we've got, on CoinMarketCap. So look up GeoNet there.
Quick question. Since you mentioned satellites a few times, and you know if you think of satellites, you think of Starlink. So how's that work with you guys? They play nice, and you get a lot of you work with that company, and
we definitely have a lot of deployments, especially in ag, that are using Starlink for backhauling GeoNet data. As internet out there is not great, and I recently posted myself on a station I set up to sort of pioneer a little bit of work on a completely off-grid RTK installation that, again, I think will be primarily relevant in certain ag and ag robotics applications.
Yeah.
There's interest and a lot of research going on tracking. In addition, so traditional positioning satellites are geosynchronous satellites, so they're in pretty deep space. That's why the signal's very weak. But there's a lot of work going on to use low Earth orbit satellites to augment positioning systems. And we are kind of at the cutting edge of some of that work. We have a contract with one of not SpaceX, but actually a dedicated constellation of low Earth orbit satellites like Starlink that's going up specifically around positioning. And that's a very exciting development for us. And we're looking into tracking Starlink signals as well for augmenting positions. They are in the K-band, which isn't super convenient. It's great for sort of communications, but it sort of results in big antennas. So you think about GPS, you think about your Garmin watch. You want to have a small antenna, and this L-band, which is what's used, is really the ideal band for positioning. S-band could be interesting too, but all the current GPS infrastructure that's deployed in the world, in your phone, in your car, it's all uses this L-band. And so this partner that we have is deploying an L-band based constellation for augmenting positioning using low Earth orbit technology. And we are in the process of adding tracking for that. They don't have any satellites on orbit yet, but they've raised a ton of money. So this is all the future that's coming. So
cool.
That's an exciting development for us.
That's pretty cool. So I have a question. I know we didn't preview this one on here, but how does this also allow, or does your network sort of allow something that's similar to like you know, one of the, I know in North America we have the WAAS, the Wide Area Augmentation System. So does this allow maybe a device that's not otherwise hooked up to your network to receive a similar kind of signal from your network, except over the internet instead of over a
so it's received over the internet, and you can think of like WAAS stations. Like we have customers who run networks like WAAS. We're not currently selling data to the U.S. government for WAAS, but WAAS is a very old augmentation. It's not really state of the art. We supply data for state-of-the-art augmentation. There's RTK, PPP, RTK, and PPP. These are the sort of modernized versions of that provide a much bigger improvement in accuracy. But that concept of what WAS was at the time WAS came out is very much what we do. So WAS is wide area augmentation system. GeoNet is the world's biggest augmentation system and the world's most accurate augmentation system ever created. So sort of like
super cool.
leapfrogs over WAS.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to have you. You know what? I feel like I would love to have you guys back, like maybe at beginning of next year, and like do more of a. Because I feel like we could go on for the, like, you know, dive. We have a ton of questions.
It's a rabbit hole.
I bet Chris has a lot of questions too. So I would love to have you guys.
I'm being good.
Here. A bit of a deeper dive into this. And I'm sure that they'll do the same in dePioneers. It's really cool to hear what you guys are working on and building, and really, really blessed and happy to have you guys part of the posse, the dePioneers posse.
We have one quick question before. I know you guys have to have a hard stop, so maybe you can just give this a question for you guys. How was the transition? And this is always an interesting question. And then we'll probably wrap up with an announcement of the giveaway. And yeah,
sounds good. So 2 parts to that. The first part is, well, it was so the 3 co-founders, myself, David, and Yudan. So Yudan is not on the call. He's another Web 2, very technical on GPS and high accuracy positioning, along with me. He and I started, before we met David, trying to figure out how to do this in Web 2. And that was what was difficult. That became very clear. We looked at like public storage, Crown Castle, American Tower, places. We knew the hardware cost was coming down. So we understood that we could build the hardware to build the network wouldn't be $25,000 anymore. So before, these traditional RTK networks, the base stations were $25,000 plus. So we knew we could solve that problem. So okay, we're going to have it solved. And then we quickly realized to deploy these at scale, at the density that's needed, would take a decade and would cost billions of dollars. And we didn't really think we could raise that kind of capital. And we didn't, would there be an ROI? I mean, that's just a really tough business proposition. So I'd say the transition from Web 2 to Web 3 was very easy, very successful. We presented it one of the major satellite navigation conferences, or the most premier sort of academic satellite navigation conference, and was very well received, this idea, except for one thing. And that gets to the sort of second point of this transition from Web 2 to Web 3. People are like, oh man, decentralizing these base stations and coming up with a protocol to decentralize the base stations is really a fantastic idea. But isn't there some way to do it without crypto? Because again, this was 2021. Crypto was not as well accepted. And people, there was an initial pushback on the crypto angle. Oh gosh, do we have to get involved in that dirty business? That started to change about a year ago to, hey, I'm not super familiar with crypto, but this seems like actually a really good use of crypto. This is really cool. And we didn't have so much pushback on that anymore from our Web 2 customers. And I think now, basically, with Bitcoin at 100K and the Trump administration being crazy, Bitcoiners and whatever coiners, it's going to get even easier. So I think that problem is really solved. And, you can't pay 10,000 people every day using Swift. That doesn't work. You can think about trying to do it. It doesn't work. You have to have this infrastructure that blockchain has provided is elemental for a project or for us to deploy the infrastructure that we do, above and beyond all the other aspects of community and just all the stuff that the smart contracts and all the stuff that blockchain provides, just the basics of like distributing rewards. There's no way to do it with Web 2. So I think it's a great way to marry Web 2 and Web 3. And I think the stigma around it's going away. And the regulatory framework's going to improve, so I think it's going to continue to be a very successful strategy.
Awesome, perfect answer. Is that exactly how we feel about it too? Yeah, that's exactly what DePIN, the power of DePIN, which is why I think so many people are excited about it. That is exactly it, because it unlocks business models that weren't even possible without crypto. So that's great. Okay, well. I wanted to just say we are, because whenever we have a new amazing partner with dePioneers, we do a giveaway. So what we're going to do is follow GeoNet on X. We're going to do a post there. We'll amplify it with UpRock and dePioneer Cat's account. That post will tell you the instructions how to enter. Pretty simple though. It's going to be follow GeoNet, follow dePioneers Cats, share it, and that's about it. And then on the next live stream, we'll probably have Mike or David come back on, and then we'll randomly choose a winner, and then talk a little bit more about GeoNet. So look out for them, put on alerts. We'll put that post up, and we'll announce the winner next week.
Yeah, great. Oh yeah, because if I know we have only a minute left, but if you guys want, there's a geocaching quest, the scavenger hunt, right? Yeah,
that'll be coming up. We have to get the devices out. So those devices will start shipping in January. And once we get a little critical mass, we'll start bringing up some scavenger hunts. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun, an interesting way to help. The dePioneers brand, I think it's great. It's a great concept because everyone in DePIN is a pioneer.
Yeah.
And so we'd like to see people pioneer, geocaching with Web3.
Yeah. And Mike's just got he just got another great idea. Stray cats, so to speak.
Stray cats.
Yeah, stray cats. Okay, guys.
Gotta rescue them. Gotta rescue those stray cats.
Well, I'm super excited to have you in the posse. I mean, this is like super. I can't wait to have you guys back, and I can't wait to hear more about you in the dePioneers group. And I'm sure we're gonna hear you on their streams too, folks. You can follow Mike Horton on X at Mike A Horton, and David Chen at MV Render. So that's on X, right? And I'm not sure if that's the same on Telegram or not, or if you have that. But and then GeoNet is it just GeoNet here? Is it
GeoNet.com?
Yeah, go to GeoNet.com.
Yeah. But on X it is
at GeoNet _. At GeoNet _.
Oh,
there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming. I am going to take you guys off stage, but thank you so much. And
thank you, guys.
Really love hearing about GeoNet. I mean, wow, guys, that was super.
That's super cool.
Super fucking cool. I was just like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know it, but I could follow along a little bit. And then after a while, it's just like I reached my peak. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what this means. I just want to be involved. I just want that consumer app.
I think he summed it up at the end, which is great. Is if you wanted to do it by yourself, you'd have to spend multi-millions of dollars to deploy devices.
Probably billions. I think this one really is a billion.
Yeah, billions, because then you have to think about not just that, you'd have to have employees to watch and monitor the devices around the world. You have to go check in on the devices. This is why the cost to do it the Web 2 just skyrockets and makes it impossible to do. And in this case, you can really incentivize the community to collaborate and build an amazing network instantly. So there's two kinds of DePINs out there. There's the commodity hardware and the specialized hardware, and both are really amazing. So yeah, that was great.
That was so cool. So cool. Okay, guys, we are finished. That's it. That's a wrap for today. However, before we go, I told Jesse I was going to do this.
What?
I have a request for the Alpha Pack.
Yeah.
This is a huge shift in subject, but from the bottom of my heart, this is a personal request. Over Thanksgiving, I watched Transformers 1, and it is an incredible film.
Yeah.
It is so good, but it suffered in the box office because it didn't have great marketing. If you are a fan of the Transformers franchise, and I'm not talking about the last, whatever, the 2000s movies. I'm just talking about the franchise.
Even the cartoons of the 80s. It has more of the vibe of the 80s. Yeah,
please watch this movie. The reason why I'm begging you to watch this movie is because it's so good. It didn't get the marketing it deserved, and people just don't know about it. And then Hasbro just announced on November 20th that they are no longer going to be funding any projects that use their IP. So if we want the sequels, it was supposed to be 3 movies. If we want the sequels, we have to show that we like this film. So please, that's my ask.
That's a good ask. Just FYI, it's like the prequel of the Transformers. You can see how Optimus Prime became Optimus Prime.
Yes.
He's like a young adult robot, and he becomes. It's pretty badass. I recommend it too. But they totally sucked at promoting it. So I get Jen your optimism and the excitement for it. So yeah, just got to watch it and make sure we get part 2, because it sucks when you like a show and then they cancel it on you.
Yeah.
So I get it.
And it's rated PG, so it's got good violence in it, but I mean it's still like good. You could watch it with kids, you know. I mean it's very good nostalgia.
Yeah,
So
the animated one.
Transformers 1, please.
Yeah.
And then if you like it, share it. That's what I'm doing. I'm passing the torch, so please pass the torch if you like it. I think you will.
All right.
Okay, guys.
Cool. Yep, I agree.
You were listening to my my I just really like it.
Well,
So you have to watch
Jen,
it.
you're more than meets the eye. Okay. All right, everybody.
All right, everyone.
We appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. As always, it means a lot to us. We hope you have a great Thursday out there.
Yeah.
And,
Okay. See you next week, everybody. Peace out.
Bye.